You're listening to BESTSELLER Talks.
Keep finding people that can challenge you mentally and physically. You need people that are like-minded or people that have the same goals as you to grow. So that's been very important in my process.
On the 8th of January, the 13th winner of Bestseller's Olympic Hope Award will be announced. Each year, the award is presented to a young Danish athlete with genuine Olympic or Paralympic ambitions, and who represents the values we pride ourselves on at Bestseller. Bestseller's sponsorship of the Olympic Hope Award stems from two things. Firstly, Bestseller has been the official clothing partner of Denmark's Olympic and Paralympic teams at the past 4 games: Beijing 2008, London 2012, Rio 2016, and the delayed Tokyo 2020, which was held earlier this year. Secondly, talent development is an important part of Bestseller's narrative. This company's history is peppered with stories of talented individuals being given the freedom to create something new and help strengthen Bestseller's future. In this episode of Bestseller Talks, we will discuss talent development, both the role it plays in Bestseller's company culture and in connection to our annual sports award. We'll be joined by 2 previous winners of Bestseller's Olympic Hope, dressage rider Katrine Dufour and rifle shooter Stephanie Grunsu. They will share lessons they have learned about commitment, goal setting, and personal development. Lessons that we can all benefit from, regardless of our professional focus. My name is Michael Huguenin, and I am the host of Bestseller Talks. For this episode, I spoke to Katrine, Bestseller's Olympic Hope 2016, as she was driving to Sweden for Dressage's big end-of-year Grand Prix event, the Saab Top 10. Katrine would finish second, continuing an impressive run of form in the final months of 2021 and putting her in good shape ahead of the World Equestrian Games, which will be held in Denmark in August 2022. Katrine, welcome to Bestseller Talks. Thanks for being part of our show.
Thank you so much because you want to have me today. It's really exciting and I'm looking forward to all the questions.
Katrine, you recently won 2 gold medals at the FEI Dressage World Cup event in Herning in Denmark. How important was it for you to stand on the top step of the podium after coming so close to a medal in Japan?
Yeah, I mean, it was really nice to get back on top again. And obviously I was quite disappointed with Tokyo, but it was really it was super sport. And even though I was quite disappointed, it was nice to have the European just a few weeks after, where my top horse did really well. And then obviously in Herning with my good old partner Cassidy, he was really fantastic. And I mean, it's nice to start or to end this season and start the next one on a high note. And as you might know, this the World Equestrian Games will be in Denmark for the first time on home soil. So it was really nice to feel back in top business and just feeling that everything worked out well.
As you mentioned, it will be the same location for the World Championships next year in Denmark, as you said, for the first time. I'm guessing that the ambitions for you, therefore, are quite high.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, for the Danish national team, we have quite high hopes because for now it looks like we have really good both young horses and riders coming up. And we still have something 8-9 months to go. So it's really exciting to see where Danish dressage can go before the World Equestrian Games. And then also my own expectations. I mean, you never know with the individual medals, but Bohemian, he feels in great shape. And even though there's quite a few months to go, I'm just really excited to do also my first World Equestrian Games if I will be selected for it. Because the last time when it was in Tryon, my old horse, he was injured. So first time for me if it happens, and also a first time for Denmark.
It's fair to say you've taken some big strides forward since being named Bestseller's Olympic Hope for 2016. How have you experienced that journey from going from being a young talent with potential to a genuine candidate for, the big medals in world dressage?
It's been quite a fantastic journey. I remember in 2016 when I did my first Olympic Games, that felt really crazy. I mean, I was super insecure, and it was my first senior season. So to be honest, I didn't really knew what I was doing and like what was happening. But to fast forward to now, where I feel that I'm really settled in, and it's not only my idols I'm riding against, but it's more like my colleagues now. So it's been a quite fantastic journey, and even though it's only something like 5 years, then it could have been 10. I mean, a lot has happened, and it was fantastic to feel that someone believed in me back in 16, and then to see where we are now. I'm really proud of that, and it's been really fun.
What kind of bumps in the road have you experienced along the way? And this episode is about talent development and so forth for Bestseller Talks. What lessons can you pass on to any of our listeners who are looking to reach the top regardless of their field?
For my own sake, I think like since 16, I've sort of found out that sometimes less is more. Back then, the only thing I could focus on was like training day in, day out, being with the horses like 15 hours a day or 20 hours a day, and like basically not sleeping a lot. And I didn't have time, or I didn't prioritize the time to see friends and family. And I mean, it felt like I had to do everything to make it work, to go to the Olympic Games. But when I look back, I would have been a better athlete if I would have spent more time like on myself and remember to sleep, to eat, and to see family once in a while. So I mean, a good advice is that of course you have to work your ass off every single day and really like put plenty of time into it, but also sort of try to find a balance in life. I think that's really important if you want to live from it. And I mean, my discipline is quite special because you can do. I mean, I could be one of the riders till I'm something like 60 years old. So if I have to survive that for that many years, then it's about finding the balance, and of course work really, really hard, but also enjoy the process and enjoy the journey.
Earlier this year, in an episode of Bestseller Talks about leadership, Henrik Mathiasen, who is brand director at Vero Moda, perfectly described Bestseller's focus when it comes to recruitment and talent development.
Your first task is employing the right people, right? Understanding that it's value-driven, it's mindset-driven when you employ people. I try as much as possible to give them as much space as possible because I trust them.
This focus on character underpins both Bestseller's internal development programs as well as Bestseller's Olympic Hope Award. Each year, over 4,000 colleagues receive training from Bestseller's various programs, while some of our brands also run their own development initiatives. Bestseller People, our HR department, runs Bestseller Academy for internal training, as well as 2 entry-level programs, the Apprentice Program and the Business Trainee Program. All these educational offerings are built upon the foundation laid down by Bestseller's founder, Troels Holk Poulsen, including his 10 founding principles, which express the essence of our company and how we do business. To translate those principles into concrete training programs that will provide our company with the colleagues it needs, Bestseller People regularly interviews key leaders in our company with first-hand experience of tools to better understand what they look for in candidates. By collating and analysing the responses, our trainers and recruiters are able to create professional profiles to help identify the ideal apprentice or business trainee from hundreds of candidates. This year, a record number of athletes were submitted by Denmark's various national sporting associations as candidates for Bestseller's Olympic Hope. From this strong field of 18 athletes, middle distance runner Jule Ibler Lillesø, paralong jumper Bjørk Nørmark, and Lærke Marie Olsen, who competes in judo, were chosen as the official nominees. One of them will follow in the footsteps of Stephanie Gronsø, who was named Bestseller's Olympic Hope 2020 just under a year ago. Stephanie is a college athlete at Texas Christian University in the United States and is midway through her 3rd year. The 21-year-old started our interview by explaining how she first got into shooting.
Yeah, so I I got involved in 2011. I was in school in Denmark at the time, and we did this activity in school where we tried out shooting. And I found out that I was pretty good at it, I'd say, and it was fun for me. It was something different that I hadn't tried before. And then it kind of just took off from there. It was just like for fun in the beginning, and then I started taking it more seriously in probably 2014. And then I made my first big decision in 2016 where I moved to Norway to do high school. This was they had like an elite college, or elite high school, there in Norway, in Kongsvinger it's called. And I went there not knowing really anything. I moved away from my family. I moved out on my own. So there was a lot of factors that I had to like be responsible for, not just shooting in school, but also grocery shopping, doing my laundry, stuff like that. So that's when I really became, I guess, independent for the first time. Then I spent 3 years in Norway, and then that kind of led me to becoming interested in moving abroad to the United States.
Now, TCU, Texas Christian University, tell us a little bit about the school and I guess why it was that you chose that place as where to take your next step.
Well, I went on a visit in 2018, in the end of 2018, and I was just blown away, really. I didn't expect to like it that much, but I really did. I loved the coaches. I loved the team. We're an all-girls team, which can seem intimidating for some people. It did for me in the beginning, but it was just unlike anything I'd experienced before. The dynamic is great on the team, and it was also before I came. And then the campus is beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. And we travel around a lot to different campuses, and ours is by far the prettiest. It's a small school. It's a private school. We're about 10,000 students and about 500 athletes. So the athletic community is very tight, and we're very close to each other. Everyone knows each other very well. So that's what I liked about TCU, really.
And safe to say that so far it's been the right decision.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy about it.
Having grown up near Roskilde, south of Copenhagen, how easy was it to adapt to life at an American college, NCAA sport, which has its own kind of reputation and everything, and then the unique culture of Texas, which I think the majority of Americans and probably Texans themselves would say isn't necessarily the synonymous with being American. Texan is something almost bigger in itself, yeah?
Yeah. They do say everything is bigger in Texas, and I do agree with people that say that. But I'd say definitely taking that first step of moving abroad to a closer country first. So like Norway is just an hour and plane ride. I definitely say that helped me a lot with moving away from taking that big step overseas to America. But then when I got there, it was obviously a culture shock, unlike anything I'd experienced before. They do things their own way. And like you say, in Texas, I'm even lost for words right now because I'm just trying to think of all these experiences that I've had throughout my 2.5 years here. But there's definitely some type of language that they use over here. Like they say y'all or howdy instead of you guys. So I had to get used to that. And then just like I said, everything's bigger in Texas. The food, Mexican food is everything that we eat over here, but I love it. So there's just a lot of small things that I've kind of gotten used to, and it's been fun, a fun experience for sure.
Probably makes sense to a lot of us that, moving from Denmark to Norway and then obviously Norway to the United States, that would be an easier process. But what do you think that says about you that at such a relatively young age you are willing to jump in the big pool, in at the deep end, and sort of say, I'm going to really go for this?
I've definitely always been quite independent. My mom has taught me that, so thank you, Mom. She's raised me to want to experience other cultures and other places, and not just me, but also my siblings have traveled a lot. So I think that it says that we've been raised to be independent and to grab that opportunity when it presents itself. And I think that that's what I've done. And then also having my goals and my ambitions with my sport, but also in school and education, that's very important to me. So really seeking the optimal environment has been what I've been trying to do for the past 7 years. So I think that's what I've learned from the whole experience.
Since Bestseller named its first Olympic hope back in 2006, the award has become something of a quality guarantee. The 12 previous winners have collectively qualified for the Olympic and Paralympic Games 20 times and won 9 medals. Not one has retired from elite sport without competing at an Olympic or Paralympic Games. At Tokyo 2020, Victor Axelsen, Bestseller's Olympic Hope 2010, won Olympic gold in the men's badminton, while Daniel Wallner, Bestseller's Olympic Hope 2012, won Paralympic bronze in the men's T63 long jump. Another 4 previous winners also earned a ticket to Tokyo. But success is one thing. How do talented individuals respond to setbacks? Both Katrina and Stephanie have gone through that process in 2021. For Katrina, it was the relative anticlimax of finishing 4th in both the individual and team dressage events in Japan, and thereby missing out on a medal. For Stephanie, it was the disappointment of failing to qualify for the Olympic Games altogether. Here, Katrina explains the importance of having a solid support network in dealing with setbacks. She will be followed by Stephanie, who reflects on winning Bestseller's Olympic Hope and her first attempt at Olympic qualification, as well as some of the lessons she has learned.
I find it really, really important that you have that person or that parent, that partner that can pick you up. Because, when everything is good and, when you succeed, then everything is easy. But, of course, there's many bumps on the way. And, it's meant the world for me to have either a really good trainer or my parents or now my partner and my trainer again to, stick around and tell me, hey, we love you even though you're not a good rider this weekend. So, for them, for me, it's been important. The fact that they reminded me, we don't love you for the results. We love you for who you are.
Yeah, very important. When was it in your life that you started to perhaps realize that these ambitions that you had for yourself, dressage could be something that you could, really achieve something with?
Quite late, actually, because back when I was a junior rider and young rider, I thought that I wanted to quit riding when I became a senior, because I wanted to, move to the city and live the party life, like normal young people do.
Yeah.
But then again, when I turned something like 20, I was like, shit, now I have to stop within 1 year. And I've never really been attracted to that sort of life. So I think it was just something I thought I had to do. So when I started doing trying to sort of get into the Grand Prix level, I thought, well, that it could, maybe it might work out, to become a Grand Prix rider and to build up a business around my passion. But it was really, maybe in my first senior season in 16, also going to the Olympic Games, that really made me realize that it might be possible one day to really live from it and be able to create good results at the same time. So I'm actually just feeling really, really lucky that it is possible now. And even though it's my job, I just love the everyday with the horses. The competition, it's one thing, but the everyday is everything for me.
So considering that process and that journey, what did it mean at that point to be named Bestseller's Olympic Hope?
It meant a lot, because having to do that jump from young rider level, or from it's U21 basically, to the senior level, it's really, really tough. And at some point, I didn't thought that it would be possible. Really, we almost gave up on the horse I had back then. But then we had a new trainer coming in, giving some advices and having, a little confident boost from the Bestseller's Hope Prize, that, okay, well, people do really see something special in me, and they sort of try to support me. on this journey. That was really super important, and it's something I'm still really proud of the day to day.
In terms of reaching the top of any chosen field, for you it's sports and I guess your business, for others it could be, you know, their professional career. What do you think is the most important thing to achieve those goals?
I think the most important thing to achieve your goal will be to, like, sort of, for my sake, it is to keep the passion in your heart, really. Because I really believe that if you love your job and you love what you do every day, then it's just way easier to achieve your goals and to, like, grow, even like if it's in, like, you know, a normal business case or within a sport or a discipline. So really to remember why you started. For my sake, it's really important to stick to the happiness with the horses and being around them, and then work hard every single day, like combined with passion. I think that's a really important mix to reach the top.
Great answer. When Bestseller chose you for our award, you had more or less just returned from your Olympic Games debut in Rio de Janeiro, and you'd finished 13th in the individual event. I think the majority would consider that a really good result for a first-time Olympian. And then this year you headed to Tokyo with, it's fair to say, a greater weight of expectation. In both the individual and team event, you were sitting third going into the final, which meant that you were essentially trying to defend a bronze medal, but finished up fourth each time. How have you reflected on those experiences since returning from Japan?
I mean, the two Olympic Games, they was really different for me. I mean, as I said, the first Olympic Games in Rio, it was just crazy being there. And what I remember the clearest from those games were, you know, the inmarch, being in the village. I mean, everything around the Olympic Games, that was just fantastic. And I didn't went there with any expectations sports-wise. But when it comes to Tokyo, I've tried once to live in the Olympic Village. It's crazy still, but we went out there with, you know, hopes of a medal.
Yep.
And so, I mean, the two different feelings is, like, in Rio, I was really just, it was crazy. You
were having fun, like, in some ways.
Yeah, and it was like a goal in life to achieve, to attempt an Olympic Games. Whereas in Tokyo, it was a bit more like disappointment, to be honest, because we went out there to try to get a medal for Denmark, and we didn't succeed it. So even though it was a great experience and it was a fantastic event and everything, it was also with a great amount of disappointment to return without anything.
At the start of this year, 2021, you were named Bestseller's Olympic Hope for 2020. What did it mean to you to win the award?
I was honestly very surprised. I didn't expect it. I was hoping for it, obviously, but I was up against two very good athletes. So I thought we were pretty much all equal, and I didn't know where this was going. But when I sat in that cinema and I was watching a movie with my family, and then it like popped up on the screen. If some people listening don't know what I'm talking about, you should definitely go watch it, because the whole setup of how it was announced was absolutely ridiculous, and it was really amazing. I'm very, very proud that I was the recipient of the award last year, and it's really given me a huge shoulder clap and a ton of motivation towards my next goals.
Speaking of that, obviously at the time, the big goal was to get to Tokyo. You eventually just missed out on selection. How did you handle that process?
It was tough. I'm still kind of, I guess, processing it or working through it. COVID gave me the opportunity to fight for a spot on the team. If COVID hadn't hit, I wouldn't have been as far into the process as I eventually became. So I think I'm very thankful for that. I'm always not thankful for COVID, but I'm thankful for getting the opportunity to fight for the spot and to show what I can do and show my skills. There were some implications with matches that counted towards Tokyo that I couldn't participate in because I was in the US and because of COVID. So that made it difficult for the people that selected us to kind of evaluate everyone on the Olympic team. So that made it difficult for me. I guess I hope that they looked more into the future and more into giving experiences, because next time in Paris 2024, it'll be my first time. So I'm still kind of lacking that type of experience, which I was hoping that they would take into consideration. Yes, like I said, I'm still working through it. It was a tough one, but it's given me more motivation, and I'm going to be ready for the next one.
What could you pass on to other people, whether athletes or otherwise, who, you know, have a big goal and have, you know, clear ambitions, and then at some point along the way, you know, they stumble a bit or someone closes a door?
Yeah, so when I was preparing for this interview, I kind of thought through that question a lot. What's been very important to me, like I mentioned earlier, is to seeking optimal environments, keep finding people that can challenge you mentally and physically. You need people that are like-minded, or people that have the same goals as you, to grow. So that's been very important in my process. And then continue to be confident in your skills and your hard work, regardless of your field. I think that's very, very important. And then lastly, what I think is important is to be patient and to trust the process. And it's been something that I've been working on lately. So definitely looking at the overall picture and thinking that it's part of the process, even when you fall, even when you fail. It's important to look at the bigger picture to see the overall process.
In the interviews with Katrina and Stephanie, both mentioned the importance of trusting in their process regardless of results, as we heard Stephanie describe just now. This faith in your own abilities and the amount of work you are putting in when things don't go your way is surely something we could all benefit from. Thank you for listening to this episode of Bestseller Talks. We are planning more for 2022, so please stay tuned for that. But until then, from everyone at Bestseller, have a safe and happy holiday period. To finish this episode, here is one last nugget of wisdom from Stephanie about the power everyone can gain from being confident and believing in themselves.
Sometimes your body may have limitations on certain stuff, but your mind certainly does not. So use that.